And welcome to episode 36 of the This and That Gaming Podcast. My name is Dave, and with me, as always, are my two good friends, Mr. Darren Dasborg. How are you going this evening?
I'm doing okay. Okay. I'm a bit flat today, but I am looking forward to it. I'm dying to talk about all the latest and greatest gaming we've encountered this last, 3 weeks now?
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. All right, I'll pump you up, Daz. I'll get you going.
I've got a double coffee in here, so that'll hopefully keep me going.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we cannot forget, and I was trying to think of a description for you earlier today, and I had one, and now I've forgotten what it is.
There you go.
I'll just go with the magnificent Mr. Mark Cassar.
I'll take that. Yeah, I'm doing
How you
well,
been, mate?
Well, good, very good. How about you, Dave?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. I'm raring to go tonight. I think this is an exciting episode.
Yeah.
Did you want to tell us just quickly about your background this evening?
Yes. So anyone with a Switch that's played Mario Odyssey should recognize this. We are New Donk City from Mario Odyssey.
Lovely.
We'll go something a little bit colorful because things are picking up for us the past few weeks. You know, our restrictions have eased a bit.
Pretty much
So
normal.
it's good times, or good times for us anyway.
Yeah.
It is good times.
I'm not happy. I feel like dancing. Oh, wrong guy. Wrecked the joke. I put the wrong sound effect. I wanted this one. That's all. You can always play that anytime.
You can.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. All right, let's start with what we've been playing. Have we got any sound or no
We
sound?
don't. I didn't fix it yet.
All right, that's good. That's all right.
That's all right. It means we won't get flagged on YouTube.
It's
so
no
that's
point,
right.
really. I'll just add it
MPA,
later.
whoever it is.
Yeah. Just add it later. There's no point doing it here.
Time to play the game. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Marku, let's kick off with you today. What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing a bit of SpiderMan.
Mr. Miles.
Is it
Miles Morales.
SpiderMan?
SpiderMan. Great game. Jeez. I played a bit of the first one, but I kind of struggled with that a little bit. I don't know why. I struggled with the controls and I struggled with the combat, but I was super pumped with this. And yeah, I love this from start to finish. I actually ended up finishing it as well, which is
Wow,
a rare
that's
feat
quick.
for me. It's not a super long game. And I didn't do all of the side mission stuff, so there's still a bit more there to go. But I went through the campaign because I wanted to finish it quickly before I got bored of it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's probably, I think it got clocked in about, when last I checked, was about 11 hours.
Oh, that's
okay.
So it's,
but that's good. Like, it doesn't need to be longer than that, really.
No, exactly. And it's a really great story, really enjoyable. I love Miles Morales. He's one of my favorite Spider-Man characters. And there's just some great throwbacks to like some of the other media. If anyone's seen Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, there's a suit that you can unlock, which depending on how you play the game, I played the game, I think it's performance mode, so that turns off all the ray tracing and it runs at 60 frames.
Yep.
But what makes this suit so great is that he animates at 24 frames per second. While the rest of the world around him is still animating at 60 frames, so he's like all janky and jerky, just like the movie.
Cool.
And it's just got some really great touches, and it's got some great messaging as well. Like the way they go, like there's a lot of things like Black Lives Matters and things like that in there as well, which is great to see. I really enjoyed the way they tackled those issues in this game too.
Nice.
It's just really enjoyable from start to finish. Highly recommended even if you've got a PS4. You don't have to get the PS5 version. Get the PS4 version. It's really
Is there
fun
that much of a difference between the two?
Oh, there would be.
just more so the density of the city. And obviously with the PS5 version, you can run the higher frame rate as well. So that's been really fun to play. Yesterday with all the Steam sales and Black Friday sales and everything like that, I picked up Panzer Paladin, Panzer Paladin, I think it's called. Panzer
I haven't
Paladin.
heard of that. What's that?
I've heard of it.
It's a NES style game, retro style game,
Okay.
platformer. I can't
that
remember
just
the-
came out, didn't it?
Yeah, it came out a few months ago. It was discounted, so I ended up grabbing it.
What's it?
Really fun.
What's it cost?
I got it for $20, just under 20, $19 something. With a humble bundle discount.
Okay. I was a via
yeah.
Humble Bundle. Okay.
It's on sale on Steam, but if you get it via Humble Bundle, it's slightly cheaper by a couple extra dollars.
Nice.
Really fun. It's I'm trying to think. It's like a action platformer. If you've played Shovel Knight, it'll probably be a little bit familiar to you. It's pretty tough. So like it's obviously being a NES style game, it's got some difficulty in there, but I'm really enjoying it. The soundtrack is kick ass as well. Really cool. So I'm looking forward to playing a bit more of that. Besides that, just the normal emulation. Been playing a lot of Truxton for some reason. I don't know why.
Still
Still enjoying that. I've been playing a lot of the Mega Drive version because it's easier than the others.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much been me for the past few weeks.
Very nice. Mr. Daz, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing the Series X for a little bit. I have been glued on Crash 4 at the moment.
Okay.
So I've been playing that, and I'll explain later about the graphics and all that. But it's a lot of fun. The game is great. It's actually a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. Playing Fishing Derby, haven't I, Mark?
I was going to mention that before. That's why
Fishing Derby.
The Atari 2600.
Fishing Derby.
What's this? Sorry, do you want to explain?
I was streaming last night and on Twitch, and I was playing Atari 2600 games. So I thought, all right, anyway, chucked it on. I go, whoever's watching, and Mark's usually there, always watching. I go, throw me a game. Any game? It's Fishing Derby. I'm thinking to myself, geez, this is going to be real exciting. Chucked it on. I was on it for a while. It was the computer is so cheap. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I haven't raged in the game so much, especially online, in a long time. And supposedly it was funny. I don't know, but I was fucking pissed off.
He was pissed. It's funny because I didn't expect you to actually play, because for some reason it popped into my head because I was looking at something on Twitter, and somebody actually paid out Fishing Derby. So it was just fresh in my mind. I thought I'll just mention this, and I didn't actually expect you to play it.
Gordon King says pronounce it Derby, you nugget. It's Derby, Mr. King.
It's Derby here.
It's Derby. you Scots don't know how to speak English, so. But actually, I had a lot of fun playing it, to be honest. It was quite good. It's funny how when you really set yourself on an Atari 2600 game, it can be a lot of fun. But yeah, played that. Just random retro stuff. Always just playing retro. But Crash 4 was the one I played the most. Played what's it called again? What's the one that with the swords?
Nidhogg.
Nidhogg. Nidhogg 2.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing with the kids this week too, and I got them.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. So I got my daughter into it, and her and her friend were playing it a lot too, and you could just hear them screaming and laughing, and the game. It's a great game. It's a great. It game.
Is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so fast paced. It just works so well. Yeah. Such a simple concept and works really well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's pretty
much awesome.
That's pretty much it. Just a lot, just school. I've been doing a lot of school, so by the time I get home, I can't be bothered playing. But when I get a chance, it's usually Crash 4 at the moment. So
cool bananas.
That's me. Yeah, David.
Me, I haven't been playing much as well, really. I've been playing Fallout 4 again. So
No.
I know, what a shock. What I wanted to do was just try some mods, but I don't like trying mods that like make the game easy or, you know, give you stupid hacks.
Yeah.
So I tried a few of the quality of life improvement type ones that make graphics look better or performance better and stuff like that. And they're all good. But there is one really massive mod that's called Sim Settlements 2. And what it does is it like revamps the whole settlement system in Fallout so that basically you can assign settlers to do certain activities like grow crops or you know, manage a scrapyard, and then they will go ahead and over time their house and their area will evolve by itself, and it kind of makes it feel like you're you know, retaking back the Commonwealth in a more realistic way. It's extremely impressive what they've done here. I can't believe how much time people put into mods. It blows me away, Daz. It really, really does. So
You can see by my face how interesting that sounds to me.
But yeah, so you know, that one actually changes the game quite a bit, but I'm just so impressed by it. So if you have Fallout 4 and you want to try a mod, it does work on Xbox as well as PC. I don't think it works on PlayStation, unfortunately.
No,
but
on that,
yeah, but amazing. Sim Settlements 2. So give that a crack.
But
So I've been putting.
Sorry, how would a mod work on the Xbox though? Is it just a patch? You just apply a patch and it just adds it to the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So on PC, on PC you can go. There's a mod manager you can download and shit like that. But for the Xbox, it's integrated into the Fallout game. So there's a mod section. It then brings up like, you know, the featured mods and stuff like that.
It's all legit. It's all
yeah.
Okay.
So there's a whole bunch that are legit ones, and then there are other ones that you can hack and sideload, but they're probably not available on Xbox. But I was impressed by that anyway. So look, to be honest, most of my time's been on Fallout 4. Fallout 76 just had an update where they've introduced the Brotherhood of Steel, so I'll probably go back to play that soon. But aside from that, the only other thing I've been playing is some Amstrad games. And I'll talk about a couple of them here, and I'll mention it later on because they had the annual CPC Retro Dev competition, which finished a week or two ago. And there was quite a lot of entrants, but the top game is really, really impressive. I mentioned this to you, Daz. It's called the Abduction of Oscar Z.
Yes, I've heard
and
of that.
Yeah, and it's basically it's kind of like a Wonder Boy clone. So it's a platformer. You're running along. You can jump and collect fruit that give you energy.
It's a free running game, you know, like a touch game that you'd play on your phone. You jump but it's really good. It looks really good.
It is impressive,
I didn't play it, unfortunately, not yet. But
so it's not necessarily an endless runner, but obviously it's a runner game. You can't stop. It keeps going. And
I like the objective, you can go in like a flying saucer and all that.
Yeah. So basically, you've got to rescue an animal before the alien in the UFO catches the animal. So it's kind of got a little bit of a Chase HQ almost element in there as well. It's so really well done. The only disappointing thing is, unfortunately, on my monitor, it flickers because I don't have a original Amstrad monitor. But if you've got an emulator, it runs really, really well, and I'm just super impressed by it.
I don't think Mark's buying it though. He's not buying.
I look, honestly,
it's fun. It actually looks.
How is the scrolling on it?
It's good.
The scrolling's not bad. Yeah, look, it's not. It reminds me of a Master System game. Even the intro does,
and the sound,
and the sound does. Very, very Master System-ish. So yeah, look, I almost feel like they had a bit of a homage to it in a way. The other thing is with the comp, they always put a little bit of there's like a sort of thing you have to include in the game, and that's to prevent people, I guess, from making the game 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And then, just releasing it. So I think you had to include spikes, like Prince of Persia style spikes in your game. So yeah, they had that in that one. The only other one I wanted to mention quickly was a game called so that was the #1 winner for the year. #4, The Promotion. That's a cool little platformer. It's screen by screen platformer, kill the enemies, really cool boss battles, Really love that game. That's really good as well. So
Okay.
check that one out. The promotion. The only problem was it didn't come with a disc version when you download the pack of games.
Okay.
So I tried to compile it myself. I couldn't get it working, and eventually I found some tools that let me make a disc version. So anyway, but yeah, that one's really good too.
Nice.
That's it. That's it for me.
I just love how people are just making these awesome games like for the Specky, the C64 Amstrad.
I know. And we don't get many for the Amstrad, but it's nice that they do this competition and people contribute. So it's really good.
C64 just gets a fuck ton.
Oh,
yeah.
tons.
Yeah.
And Amiga gets quite a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
With that,
all right. Let's talk about the big news over the past few weeks.
So do we do the news intro now or not? Or just
No, not yet.
Okay, not yet. All right, I'm getting a bit excited here.
We finally had the next. It's madness. We finally had the next generation consoles arrive. So the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 have landed, and thankfully, two of my co-hosts here managed to snag one. I'm still waiting for mine. So we thought we'd talk a little bit about our impressions of the consoles, what we like about them, what we don't like, and any other comments you might have.
Okay.
Who wants to start?
Oh, I can go first.
Yeah, go, Daz.
Okay, firstly, I got the Series X, Xbox Series X, and out of the box, I think Dave's froze, and it's like the worst. That is the worst picture. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I knocked the modem, and I've gone, oh shit, has it taken me out? But it looks like it hasn't.
That's great. That was great.
Sorry. All right, Daz.
All right, let's start again, eh? All right,
keep it going.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have to. It's live. What was I say? Yeah, so first impressions, got the box, lovely box. I think it's packed well. You know, it's just nice. It's compact. It's not like waste. It's not wasted cardboard or anything like that. Anyway, size of it is great. I thought it was going to be bigger, and turned it on. So quiet as hell. I loved it. Love that it's so quiet. I haven't had any problems yet. I chucked it on. Did all. Everything so far has worked. The only time I had a problem with was Dead by Daylight. That kept crashing, but supposedly it was a patch and it's been patched now. So that's the only thing I really had a problem with.
Controller, how's it feel? Same as the old one? Same as the
it's a
Xbox
new
One?
D-pad. I think it's got the Elite. It's got the Elite pad, doesn't it? The D-pad
Similar to it, yeah. It's similar to it.
I actually prefer it a lot more. I think it feels a lot nicer. I'm happy with it. Nice weight. It's much of a muchness. There's a share button now on there. I think I've used it, but overall, look, I haven't got any next gen games for it yet. Crash 4 is the only one I really played. I've got the new Star Wars game as well. Supposedly that's supposed to run shit hot on it. I haven't played that yet. Just like I said, I just haven't had much time. But
we did give Forza a go on there.
Yeah,
that looked quite nice, but it's a current gen.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
you could actually explain how that ran because that looked amazing to me. But look, overall, it's just a more polished. This is what Xbox should have did prior. This is how it should have ran before. And I think they're on the money this gen. Game Pass is a winner.
How is the interface? Is it still a bit confusing, or is it better?
A little bit. It's better. It's better. It's usable now. Before it's nothing. It wasn't the clusterfuck that it was before. But like I said, I got this because it made sense for me to get it because I had Xbox One X and I got offered a killer trade-in deal.
Yeah.
So look, if I didn't get that trade-in, is what I did, I probably wouldn't have got it. But I'm glad I have it. And I have a PS5 on the way too now. So
beautiful.
Yeah, through Vodafone, they had a deal.
Nice.
If you have two accounts with them, you can get one. So that should arrive December 14th. So that's great. And
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and there's no interest or anything. It's actually flat rate $750. So
it's bloody good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's going to cost me $21 a month. I'm going to see 21. Where am I going to see that? It's nothing. Yeah. It's chump change.
I would have done the same thing. I just didn't have any accounts with Vodafone, so I couldn't do it. So but that's really good.
Yeah. So look, overall, look, it's too early to say
Mm.
how good this really is. I've watched a lot of Digital Foundry videos, and
Same.
some things are questionable, and I guess we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
overall, I think it's a great piece of kit, and I just love how quiet it is.
It's very heavy. It feels heavy too, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
but it feels premium. It doesn't feel rubbish.
Hefty.
Yeah, it's a premium console. It's no Atari VCS, that's for sure. They did
It's
well.
it's filled with rocks.
No, it's a really, really nice console. Like, I think if you want an all rounder, I think this would be your preferred. I think this is the pick you should go for out of the next gen. But yeah, if you want exclusives, I think Sony's the way to
PS5.
go. But I shall hand it over to Mark. Whoop.
Cool. Yeah, so I got my Series X as well. I kind of did the reverse of Daz in that I got mine via Telstra. So I'll be paying that off for the next couple of years, and that's including Game Pass as well. I originally wasn't going to get one, but when the offer came up, it was like,
especially with Game Pass, man, that's a
no-brainer. It's a no-brainer, and it just goes onto my mobile phone bill.
Yeah, I love how they're doing this. So I'm not sure if it's happening in other countries. I'll be curious to see, like in the UK, they're doing the same thing.
But what are these? What are they getting out of it? What profit are they making?
Retention of customers.
Yeah,
they're not making a profit because it actually works out to be about $30 cheaper. Over the period, including the console and the Game Pass. So
your patronage is worth a lot to them.
Exactly.
So they're hoping you'll get other services with them, or you'll stay with them, that sort of thing.
Spot on. Yeah. I was really lucky in that originally I was not supposed to be in the first wave. I was supposed to be in the second wave, but for whatever reason I got bumped up for both systems.
For us.
So yeah, it was just bizarre. But anyway, like Dave said, the actual unboxing of it is really, comparing the two, the Xbox feels like a lot more of a premium system in that regard, if that makes sense. Like the presentation, I mean, it's a silly thing, but it just Microsoft has done a much better job compared to what Sony did. My first impression was I was really, really surprised at how heavy the actual unit is. When I picked it up, I was like, bloody hell. I wasn't, because it was about the size I was expecting it to be, but yeah, I was just really surprised at how heavy it was. And that actually made me happy because I've got both of them actually sitting on my desk, and I've never been one to run my consoles vertically before. Because there's always that risk of them toppling over, but you'd have to push the system really, really hard to knock it over.
Especially the Xbox. I don't know about the PS5, but
they're both I think the Xbox is actually heavier, surprisingly. Okay. But yeah. What else? Yeah, the controller here, like Daz said, it's got the more clicky. You can hear that, the more clicky D-pad. I prefer it over the Series S controller. It feels more weightier. I'm not a big fan of the rough underside of it, though.
Oh, really? I like that.
I don't quite like that. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit rough on the fingers, but otherwise, I prefer this way better. So far, it's been pretty good for fighting games as well, which is cool.
KO
runs really, really well. Yep.
It works well with Fallout, I can tell you that much.
Interface wise, it's a way bigger improvement compared to the Xbox One. I can find what I'm doing. Everything, everywhere I want to go, I've been able to get there. And I like the fact that it's really customizable as well, which is good. Cool. It is a bit plain, though, I have to say, compared to the PS5. But it's functional, so it's good. As long as I can find where I want to go and do what I need to do, then I'm happy. So I'm really happy with it. Games wise, look, I haven't really played a whole lot. I think probably the game I put the most amount of time into has been Tetris Effect, of all games. I played against Daz and he absolutely spanked me at it. There was another game that I played called Katana. What is it? Katana something zero,
Oh yeah,
which
that
is
was
like
one, yeah.
this. It's again, it's a it's funny. You, you buy these next gen systems and you play retro style games on them, right?
style games, yeah.
Yeah.
Katana Blade or Katana Zero?
Katana Blade Zero, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
That
Which is really,
frustrated
really
me,
good.
man. It
It
frustrated
is.
me.
It gets freaking hard. I think it's like a roguelike style game.
Mm.
But if you make one mistake, yeah, you basically you have to go back and do it all again. It's fun, it's good, but it gets to a point where it gets really, really tough, and then I said, no, I can't play any more of this.
Did
But
you
I've
did you get
downloaded.
Assassin's Creed or anything for it or
I
not yet?
did, yeah. I haven't played it yet. I've been waiting for them to fix some of the issues. Plus, I was playing Spider-Man anyway, so I didn't want
Yep.
to like toss between the two because then I'll end up not finishing either one.
Apparently, they just patched it.
Yeah, so supposedly
okay.
they've fixed a lot of the issues that it had. So I'll get stuck into
Yeah.
that probably next week, I think. Yeah, but look, I've downloaded a few games like Daz. We always go on about Game Pass, but you really can't undersell just how good of a proposition that is.
Mm.
And especially now that the EA play stuff is integrated as well. There's so many games to bloody choose from. It's ridiculous. It almost feels like when you set up an emulation rig
Yeah,
and you just do all these
Like,
games,
where do I start?
and you're just like, you know what? I've got all these games. I've got hundreds of games available to me, and I'm going to play nothing.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But yeah, I've downloaded I downloaded Forza Horizon 4, Forza 7,
Yep.
the Halo collection, and a couple of others. So we'll get. I think
I played Halo too. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, we've been trying to tee up a night for a few of us to play that as well. So I'm sure we'll do that soon. But look, overall, impressions are really, really good. It's a really good start. Like Daz said, you turn the system on, you don't even know that it's on. Sometimes it's that quiet. PS5 wise, again, look really, really good. Unboxing is it's very bare bones, but it's funny when I was getting my PS4 Pro ready to trade in, it was the same deal. It was like they do very minimal packaging. It's just like it's in a couple of egg cartons and it's wrapped in I don't know, a foamy type thing, and that's it. Yeah. That's all it is, you know. Dashboard wise, it's funny. It's a lot flashier than the Xbox. There's some really neat features in there. Probably the two things that I like the most is that you can now see and keep track of how much time you've spent on a game. And it's gone retroactive with PS4 games as well. So nice. Like I weeped into my hands with how much time I actually spent on Overwatch, which was something like 800 hours, which is really sad because I'm still really, really shit at it. But that's a really cool feature. And another one is that, and I think we talked about this on the last episode, where you can set things like if you want all your games to run in performance mode, if you want subtitles and all that kind of stuff. That's really neat.
There's meant to be, sorry interrupting. There's meant to be like the option on some games to get like hint guides and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't used that yet. I think not all games support it. I don't know if SpiderMan does, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and double check. But look, I like the cards and things like that. What I don't like though, I don't know, and it's just the force of habit. It's a really nitpicky thing as well. But for like 7 years, right, you held down the button, you got and Microsoft still does this, you got the option to turn off the console, etc. Now you kind of have to press the button, go down, navigate to the navigate to the option and then turn it off. Again, first world problems, but it's just force of habit, you know. So I don't know why they didn't include that. You know, the system is fairly quiet for the most part. I did find though, when you have and this is the difference between so far, like my experience with the PS5 and the Xbox, is that I haven't played a game with a disc in it yet for the Xbox, so I don't know like how it runs noise-wise once you've got a game going. It's still quiet.
It's quiet.
I found that the PS5 can get a little bit noisy sometimes, but I haven't played a game digitally yet, so I need to give that a
Yep.
go.
Mhm.
But look, overall, both systems are great in my opinion. I'm not playing on a 4K TV or anything like that. I've seen a lot of people saying that they're waiting until they get a 4K TV. I don't think you really need to be
Mm.
completely honest. Yeah, look, you're not getting everything out of the system that they're doing, but you're still the games still look great. Like Spider-Man looks ridiculously good, even at 1080p.
Yep.
So I don't think, yeah, if you want the system, if you can get your hands on one, which is tough at the moment, but
Mhm.
once things just do it. They're both great systems.
Yeah, like you
The
saw.
dual. Sorry,
So
go
like
on.
you saw like Crash 4 that was running at 4K at my
Yeah.
house. That was like it's amazing. But
Yeah, it
I
looks
can,
good.
I can,
It's still going to look good, man. Even on
then,
a
and I
1080p
believe you,
screen.
and I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people shouldn't lose sleep over it.
No,
Like I wouldn't go get
no.
a new TV now. I'd wait a bit anyway.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah. The
One
only
thing-
difference I really see is it's just sharper. That's all
Yeah,
on
yeah.
4K. You're like, I look on my 4K monitor and yeah, it's sharper. That's all. So
One thing where Sony beats Microsoft
yeah,
hands down is this controller. This controller is bloody amazing.
How's the weight?
The
Oh, you
weight,
said
it's
light.
nice.
You said light.
No,
didn't
it's
you?
not
Oh,
light.
it's not light.
It's
Good.
not. It's very similar. Look, I've got one in each hand,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel pretty much the same.
Oh,
it may be a little bit lighter
Mm-hmm.
than the Xbox, but it's more. It's
It
got
looks
more weight
strange.
to
I
it.
have to admit, it does look strange.
It does, but it's really, really comfortable.
Mhm.
The buttons are very soft. I don't know if you're going to like the D-pad or not. To be honest, Daz, it's a
Okay.
little bit stiff,
Mhm.
but it's still good for fighting games. But the haptic, I thought it was going to be a gimmick. The
Mm.
haptic feedback and the what is it? The adaptive triggers, but no. When you play the best games, and the game that comes free, which is Astro's Playroom.
Yep.
Like it's a show. It's literally a showcase for this
Mhm.
controller. The way the feedback works is insane. Like there's one part where there's a little it's like they pour like balls or something into the controller, and it feels like you go, like, you shake it around,
Huh.
and it just the way,
it
like, the
feels like
weight,
there's balls rolling around.
it's there. It's like fucking how did they put them in there? You know what I mean? It's just, yeah, you've got to try it for yourself. But that's definitely, to me, the difference between the two is the controller. I will give Microsoft a year, and then they'll have their own version of it. I'm sure. Then the next Elite controller will probably have that and more.
It's really innovation, isn't it? Like
It
that.
is,
That's what
yeah.
a lot of people have said. It's kind of like the Xbox is an iteration, whereas
Exactly.
this is innovation.
Exactly. For me, it reminds me of the first time, and I still remember this very, very fondly. Daz and I got DualShock controllers on the PS1,
Yeah.
and we were playing Gran Turismo for the first time.
And
And
feeling that.
Yeah. To me, it reminds me of that day.
Yeah.
So, but look, yeah, both great systems. It doesn't matter which side of the fence. I think you're going to be happy. I couldn't pick one over the other. Like I said, the only difference for me is just the controllers themselves. System wise, they're both really great.
And they've been fairly stable, both systems. I think people have reported
Yeah.
sort of minor crashes occasionally in games.
The only issues I've had is I had Spider-Man crash on me once, and the controller wouldn't charge from the front port, which is a common.
It's been fixed apparently. There's an
There was
update.
a patch that came out, and it actually it charged for me just fine the other day. So that's the only issues I've had so far.
Yeah. So considering the technology leap, it's actually a pretty good start for both.
Yeah.
To have that sort of stability. So that's a good thing. That's good.
I've found neither one has run really hot either so far, which was what I was worried about. Yeah.
Nice. I just wanted to quickly, I don't have the consoles yet, so I can't really comment on them. I did play Forza at Daz's house, and that looked really, really impressive. Interestingly, when they did the Digital Foundry review of it, the guy there mentioned that there was a brief pause that happened once in the game, kind of like a stutter. And then it didn't happen again. And I had the exact same thing happen when I was at your house, Dad.
Wow, okay.
It just started for maybe a second, and that was it. So I don't know if there's some sort of background process that's running, maybe the OS or something, and it caused an interruption. But aside from that, it looks beautiful. So especially on your
even the Series X, they reckon it runs really well. Sorry, Series S. They reckon it runs really well
there's some textures that have been lowered and things, but aside from that, it still runs great. So yeah, it looks really good. I do have one of the new controllers because I bought one because I wanted a new controller anyway, and I do like the D-pad a lot. It's very clicky, but it's at least you know what you're pushing. I think I feel more confidence in the direction. So the roughness seems okay to me. It's not the end of the world. I wonder if it gets dirty over time, but we'll see. I did want to talk quickly about performance because obviously new consoles, there's going to be a lot of talk about, Xbox is meant to be the most powerful. What's going on there? So far, what we've seen basically is, in most cases, the PlayStation 5 has been either slightly ahead or on par with the Xbox Series X. So this has been surprising a lot of people because obviously Microsoft made claims about, the 12 teraflops of power. And that would give them a distinct advantage, and it isn't providing that advantage so far. So, people like Digital Foundry and various others have done side-by-side comparisons, and often the PlayStation 5 has actually performed a little bit better. So both consoles tend to hit the 60 FPS target pretty well, but there might be some dips, and the dips can be quite noticeable.
Valhalla especially.
Yes, there has been a patch since then, which apparently fixes some of the things like the tearing and that. They've got an option maybe to turn.
How bad did that look? How bad did the tearing look on the video?
If you don't have BRR, which barely anyone does, it looked really bad. Why are we getting this is the real question. And the only two things I've sort of seen explain it. One is that the Microsoft software development kit went out to developers much later than the PlayStation 1 did. So it's less mature. And the reason for that, I think, was they were waiting for AMD to finish the RMDA 2 specification. They wanted to make sure they included that in it. So that could be one reason. It's not up to, the same sort of speed and quality of the PS5s, and therefore they're not getting the same performance out of the machine. The other possibility is just in the nature of the graphic compute units. So we've got this 12 teraflops of power, and that's basically calculated according to the graphics card's clock speed and the number of compute units. The Xbox has more compute units, but the clock speed is lower. PlayStation 5 has faster clock speed, but less compute units. It has 36 as opposed to the Xbox's 52. So some of the thinking there is it's far easier to optimize throughput when you have less compute units and faster GPU. Kind of similar in a way to a CPU, where we know that single-threaded performance is still super, super important for gaming because games don't make 100% perfect use of all the cores of a CPU. Now, with graphics cards, it's a bit different. They tend to be more, they tend to execute more in parallel, so it should be less of an issue, but potentially that could be contributing to this. And the PS5's GPU is clocked really high. It's at like 2.3 gigahertz, which is higher than most sort of NVIDIA and AMD cards in general. So maybe that is the reason why they are performing pretty much around the same. So as a person who might be an Xbox fan, you'd be really disappointed. I think you were hoping to maybe have some bragging rights. You're not getting that at the moment. You might get that in a year or two's time. I have no idea. But either way, regardless of which console you bought, you're getting something that actually renders 4K at 60 FPS pretty well. They do that dynamic resolution scaling, which you can barely notice anyway. I think just be happy with what you've got and enjoy the games. And if you can get both consoles, even better.
Totally agree.
Well said.
Cool.
Well said.
All right, let's move on. Oh, just quickly, Black Friday just passed.
Mhm.
Did anyone get any pickups of notice or mention during the Black Friday sales?
It's COD 5 for my son for Christmas from Amazon. $109, nothing special.
No.
What did I get? Oh, EB Games. I got Wonderful 101. That's what it's called, yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, got
Oh,
that
yeah.
for like 20, I think it's $28, $23.
28. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I'm quite happy about that because I liked it on the Wii U, and then obviously I got rid of my Wii U. So, and that was one of the games I actually missed. I thought that was a Nintendo game.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's Platinum, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was I thought it was made by Nintendo. Funny enough, but I got Contra. I've heard it. I heard it's a piece of shit game, but for 20, was it like $23? I'll just get it because it's Contra, retro and all. But it's supposed to be very bad. I don't know, but why is it so bad? I don't know. I haven't tested it yet, so I'll let you know next episode. And under Boosty's recommendation, I got what's it called? Odyssey, friggin'
Oh yeah,
Assassin's Creed
Odyssey. Got it for $22. So
That's cheap.
yeah.
That's a good pickup.
Pre-owned. Who cares? I got it for the Xbox.
Still.
When I'm gonna play it, who knows? So
Yeah,
much
same.
there to play, man. So much to play.
Yeah.
I even bought, is it Code Vein? I think it's called. I got that a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
I don't think that'd be a game you'd be interested in.
Yeah.
It's a good shelf filler.
Anime
No,
game,
it's
isn't it?
it's an action RPG sort of thing. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like a anime Monster Hunter.
I've heard it's more like a Bloodborne or something, that kind of action RPG or something. Anyway, I got that for cheap too. I got that a couple of weeks ago. So again, and I've got Star Wars to play on there. It's crazy. But what else did I get? Oh yeah, and I bought a computer for my daughter, just from HP, which was actually crazy. It was like $300 off for a school computer.
Can I just say sorry? HP. It was 2:00 in the morning though. This deal, if you had an education email account, and they sold out really quickly. They had a insanely spec'd PC. This is the HP Omen range, which are their gaming PCs for $1,500. Now that might seem expensive, but it was a 2080 Ti, last gen best CPU, 32 gig of RAM, 2 terabytes of NVMe SSD. It was a pretty well 1.5, man. And I wasn't awake at 2:00 in the morning, but I was reading the comments, and yeah, a guy ordered. He got it the next day. It actually shipped to his house.
Wow. That's crazy. The sale was insane, dude. I mean, this laptop was about $800, and I got it for $5.
Nice,
and it's perfect. And it's funny because I got like the school. We've got a school booklet for her to start year 7.
Yeah,
it's got, okay, you can get a computer via JB Hi-Fi. So you put in your school code.
Yeah.
Mate, it was less powerful stuff there, and the cheapest was like $750. It's like,
yeah,
no worries. And I thought, well, the one from HP is going to be more than ample. So
yeah,
and it's an 11-inch, so it's nice and small, and touch screen, everything. This thing,
cool. Wow.
Yeah, because we got 2 HPs, the same. Actually, the other 2 older ones I bought last year for the other kids had 8 gig of RAM. This one's got 4. And I did call up HP, and I was waiting for a while to get in touch with them. Then I finally spoke to a rep.
Yeah.
I go, can I upgrade the RAM? He goes, no, it's sold it. I go, well, that's stupid, isn't it? Why would you do that? But I had no choice. In the end, I couldn't say no. $500. It's not like she's going to be playing video games on it.
Yeah.
So
schoolwork, that'll be funny.
There was a lot of good laptop deals floating around, actually. But
I looked everywhere. You know what? Look, my limit was $800. I would have paid up to that. And dude, I was hard pressed to find anything with 8 gig of RAM with a small screen.
That's the challenge. Yeah, 15-inch screen.
Easy.
There was a lot going around the $1,000 range that actually had dedicated graphics as well, which was quite nice. But yeah. Marku, did you pick anything up interesting or not?
The only thing I grabbed I grabbed that Panzer Paladin on Steam, and the only thing I picked up, which ironically wasn't even on sale, was the Bloodborne soundtrack on vinyl. And that was it. And I've grabbed some more lighting to put in my room here, but that was it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't.
actually, no, I got that wonderful 101 as well. Actually, it's funny. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
Sitting on my
there you
desk.
go.
Yeah. And
Is it any different to the? This is the Switch version, right?
yeah, it's the remaster. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I
Okay.
really don't know. And yeah, just some puzzle game to play with the family, which will hopefully be good. That's it. How about you, Dave?
I didn't pick up anything. I was really looking for a graphics card, but none of them were
No.
really at a decent price point. Maybe on Cyber Monday there might be something, but at the moment the graphics card prices are just a joke, especially in Australia. So
Yeah, if you can
we
even
get Australia tax on top of import tax and all the rest of it.
exactly.
It's a bit of a mess. Alrighty, let's move on to the
The
news.
news. So it's the news, David.
All
It's
right.
the news.
I thought we'd start off with this story because I knew Mark who would be excited. There was a massive Capcom leak that revealed a bunch of new titles that were coming. Mark, do you want to tell us about what these titles are?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, Capcom got done in really, really bad by am I still there? Yes, I
Yes,
am.
you are. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I just heard some weird disconnecting sound. Um, yeah, so there was a massive data breach at Capcom. Basically, have been hacked and ransomware put onto their system,
Wow.
and they refused to pay the ransom. So basically, all the information has now been leaked. So what? So there's been basically their schedule for the next few years has been revealed, I guess. Look, take this with a grain of salt, obviously,
Hmm.
but considering where the information has come from, hopefully it's pretty accurate. So some of the things that they've been revealed: Resident Evil Outrage. I'm not sure what that is. Dragon's Dogma 2, which is 2022 quarter two. Street Fighter 6 quarter three, 2022.
So
Um,
when was that? 2022. Okay, so it's still a while away.
2022. Street Fighter 6. Please don't suck.
I know, please, Capcom.
Another Mega Man, quarter three, 2022. Resident Evil 4 remake. Probably knew that this was coming with the way they've been going recently.
Yep.
Quarter four, 2022. Monster Hunter 6. Quarter two, 2023. Biohazard Apocalypse, which Resident Evil Apocalypse, quarter three, 2023. And this is where I get a little bit annoyed. I thought Capcom might finally learn from their mistakes, but apparently not. Super Street Fighter 6, quarter four, 2023.
Jesus.
Final Fight Remake, which is interesting. Quarter two, 2024.
It'll be like a budget game, I reckon. It'll be like something on,
yeah,
online,
probably.
like a
You probably won't like it because it'll probably end up looking like a
flash game, yeah.
But it'd be good if they did something in the vein of Streets of Rage 4, right? Like
Yeah,
a proper.
yeah, which I reckon that's probably what they'll end up doing.
I hope so.
Power Stone remake.
I'm keen for that the most out of all that.
Me too. Hopefully they include the usual bells and whistles like online play. That's quarter three, 2024. Again, Ultra Street Fighter 6.
That's just it's like they know their purpose. Now it just shows how they've just been caught out just trying to milk it.
Yeah.
They're dogs. They're dogs, mate.
Dogs.
They're dogs.
Mate. Quarter four, 2024. And then Resident Evil Hank, which is likely Hunk, which is one of the characters from 2, I believe, which is quarter four, 2024.
There you go.
So yeah, and there was some other games that were like using code names which they weren't able to be identified. Another big one though, which was what wasn't mentioned here, is that Monster Hunter Rise will be coming to PC as well, which is great news. So that'll be coming. I think it was rumored to be in August of next year. It's coming to the Switch in March, so that'll be good because you obviously get the higher frame rate and everything like that. So look, again, as I said before, you take it with a grain of salt, but yeah, Street Fighter 6 surprised me because I didn't expect that until 2023. So it's only 2 years away, which is good. Hopefully we'll start seeing some stuff next year.
Now I wonder if these are for both platforms. Should hope so.
Yes, there was. I can't remember where it was mentioned. It's not mentioned in this article, but
So Street Fighter's coming out on Xbox as well.
Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, Steam. The main thing though will they be cross-platform?
Crossplay, yeah.
Is if Capcom can pull that off, which they did this time, that'll be amazing.
That would be very good.
Look, I have faith. I know I shouldn't have faith in Capcom sometimes, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna do things properly after what they did with 5.
Yeah.
I think they've learned their lesson. Yeah.
Look, rumors were that originally 6 was supposed to come out next year, but it got pushed back because the testing didn't go well. And the guy that headed up 4 and 5 is no longer with the company.
Good.
So yeah, look, it's just more about how they're going to handle DLC again, that kind of stuff. DLC is going to be inevitable. It's too successful for them for them to go away from it.
Do you think they'll have
27
characters in this one or more?
Hopefully 27 at launch.
Okay.
27.
Took a while, eh?
It did take a while.
I had to find that sweet spot.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it doesn't come out in
27.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
First quarter.
No, it's exciting news.
Yeah.
There's no doubt going to milk it. They have to. That's just the revenue model that you need to have now.
Yeah.
What was with me being a Street Fighter noob, with Street Fighter 5, how was the community involvement with that? Did they involve a lot of the community when they were building the game, or was it sort of, we've built it, here you go?
No, kind of what they tried to do with, and this is why it kind of launched in such a bad state, was that because Street Fighter 4 kind of brought in that resurgence and you saw a lot of tournaments and things like that. So what they tried to do with 5 and because 4, like it was like almost 8 years, I believe, its lifespan. And people started to get bored towards the end of it. So, because then Capcom became involved with the tournament scene and started running their own pro tours and things like that. What they wanted to do is they wanted to get the game out there quickly, so that they can move on to a new game, renew interest, and make it more esports friendly. So they tried to gear it more towards the esports crowd, and it kind of backfired in 2 ways, because one, the guys that played in the tournaments loved Street Fighter 4 for its complexity, but Street Fighter 5 was dumbed down in a lot of ways. So they didn't like it. And then your casual player, your casual fan didn't like it either because it came with almost no content. It was a massive step backwards from what Ultra Street Fighter 4 was. So it blew up in their faces.
I felt like it played, and I liked it, but it reminded me of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It reminded me of that flavor of gameplay. You know what I mean? It was good, but it was missing. I think it was missing the heart. I know it sounds tacky,
exactly,
but it's missing the heart of the game.
Yeah, the systems that they made the controls a lot easier. It was to be able to do combos was a lot easier compared to 4. And like the mechanics that they included were boring. Yeah, so it was just like, and the combos were really, really basic when compared to when you look at 4 and 3. And the biggest problem as well is that it was a definite like upgrade in terms of visuals, but not enough.
Mm,
So for someone casually looking at 4 and 5, they may say,
that
"Well,
makes some
what's
difference.
the difference?"
Mm.
So hopefully they take it in a completely different direction this time.
Look,
And
I
it
can still
looks
look at 4 now and say this looks freaking gorgeous,
yeah.
especially
And
on a
5
360.
5 looks great, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. 5 does look great for the most part, but it's too similar
Mm,
to 4.
Yeah.
mm.
So they need to do
Well,
something, I don't know, I want them to do something similar to like what Arxis did with Guilty Gear.
Yeah, that's what
Maybe
they
try and use
need.
that kind of art. So I'll just do something completely different this time. It needs to be like just wipe the slate clean and
They
start from
do.
scratch.
That's true. They really need to take a page out of what they're doing with Guilty
Yeah,
Gear
yeah.
to say, okay, we look. That's pretty much. They have to look at it and say, we need to get to that level now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
it worries me that it's still slated for the older consoles. I know that the
Yeah.
Xbox One and PS4, they always keep having a life for at least a few years after a
Mm,
new console, but I don't know. It's like by then would have been a year and a half
yeah.
into the new consoles, and then you're taking dev time away
Yeah.
from just perfecting
Look,
those.
well, look,
Yeah,
it's
the thing is-
it's 2022. I reckon they'll end up changing their minds. I don't reckon they'll end up
They
releasing
might.
it.
Yeah, they
Mm.
might. Depends
I
on
highly
how.
doubt it. I highly doubt it.
The thing with fighting games though is that they're not overly
What system?
resource
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah,
If that
they're
makes
not.
sense.
Mm.
So they can afford to kind of think for both.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do.
yeah.
Yeah, it really will.
Cool bananas.
Cool.
All right, moving on to some Xbox news. This was an interesting article I came across just the other day. It was talking about how developers earn money through Game Pass. It's something we've always wanted to know.
Mhm.
It doesn't reveal all the secrets, but the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, did mention that they don't really have a single model. They're still trying to work out the best approach. So for some devs who are very early in game development cycle, they're looking for someone to give them some money, basically, to make a game. And in that circumstance, Xbox will pony up some money, and then essentially the game will be on Game Pass. And they're free to then still sell that game on other platforms like Steam and PlayStation and whatnot. In other scenarios, a game developer might be near the end of development. They've got something to show. It's looking really good. And they can go to Xbox and say, give us whatever, $500,000, $5 million, $10 million, and we'll put it on, we'll let you have it on Game Pass. So it can just be a single sum. And then there's other scenarios where it's a usage based. So, depending on how many people use the game or, download and play the game, the amount of revenue they get will be adjusted accordingly. So they're still trying to work out the best model. The one thing he kind of highlighted, and again, it's a bit of marketing spiel, but he was saying that, it does give devs an opportunity to potentially release a game that would never make it otherwise. Maybe it could through Steam Greenlight, through that approach. But often, similar to kind of Netflix was his analogy. Netflix releases some movies that would never make, or TV series that would never make it on a commercial network. They don't want to take the risk. It doesn't add up financially for them to do it, whereas Netflix will give it a go, and sometimes it becomes super successful. So I thought it was very interesting to get those insights. And as long as the devs are getting paid appropriately, I think it's a really good approach.
It's interesting that they'll fund games like
Yeah.
completely as well, which is good.
Yeah, I think that's really good. If you build the right relationships, later on it can work in your advantage. You know what I mean? So
Exactly. Yeah.
I think you've got to do that. A little bit more on the Xbox side. I don't know how much of a big deal this is really going to be, but some of the last gen games, we can call it last gen now, are getting patched to 120 FPS modes, but only on the Xbox, not on the PS5. And apparently this has got to do with something in the PlayStation 5 where they're essentially, that 120 FPS mode is only unlocked for PS5 games, not for the older games.
Yeah,
That might change in the future, But at the moment, it's really easy, I think, for some of the devs to patch that mode on Xbox, whereas it's a lot more difficult to do on the PlayStation. So how much of a big deal is that for some people? Yeah, maybe if you're playing one of the older Call of Duties and you want a nice, fast FPS mode, great. I don't think it's a huge deal, but interesting nonetheless.
Now, I've got a question, though. Just say your TV doesn't support that like mine, okay?
It'll just do 60.
60, okay. It won't run it as that and just feel nicer. Like
No.
that, okay.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're
just
I know it
better
sounds
off
like a dumb
running it.
question. I know it sounds like a dumb question, but
No, it's not a dumb
No,
question.
no.
And TVs talk in different modes. Like they talk at 100 hertz and 200 hertz, so it's different again.
I just feel like people are laughing at me.
You just wanted to get that into, yeah.
I think it does highlight, though, Daz, that, now when you go into consoles, and even with the previous gen, particularly on Xbox, there's a lot more video output settings than there was in the past. With your PS3 and Xbox 360, there was just, high def or not. Now there's what resolution? Does your monitor support, 10-bit color and 444 and all these different modes? It's insane. So
And the cool thing about the Xbox as well, I think the Xbox One did it too, is that if you go into that dashboard, it will tell you your TV is not capable of this. It can only display this, and so it's pretty neat. Yeah, pretty neat.
And it does it for monitors too. So I did it with this monitor, and it said, you support all the modes except the 120 hertz mode, which obviously, but I thought that's kind of cool. So they are becoming more and more like PCs. In a sense, every day. Now, this next article is very interesting. I took the article, Daz, and not the video that you shared with Marku and me yesterday. This was the one that, this was the one that I couldn't be bothered watching, but I did actually end up watching, and then was very interested.
This is like up Dave's alley. I was like, and he doesn't want to watch it. It's like I was fascinated by this. I was actually glued.
Yeah. Did you want to give a quick overview, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit more, because I think this is really big in a sense of the future of gaming.
This is a big deal, and not just gaming. I think just in computing in general. This is like and I like this story because it's got like a retro root to it because of the Acorn computer, the BBC Micro. Now, if people don't know, BBC Micro became Acorn computers, which in turn developed the ARM processor chip, which we use today. And that runs a lot cooler. Was it like 5 volts or something, Mark?
5 watts. Well,
5 watts, sorry, yeah. And
it's basically a lot more energy efficient, so it's a low power.
So it's a low power chip.
Which means a lot less heat.
Yeah. And pretty much Apple have just figured out a way. They've just released an ARM chip that can not only rival Intel's new processors, but beat it. I mean, that's insane.
It's amazing.
You know what?
It's madness. It's madness,
mate.
So this is the Apple M1 chip, and it is in their laptops and also in their Mac Minis. Mac Minis use the same,
and in the latest iPhone 12 or something.
I don't know if the iPhone 12 has the M1 in it. I think it's still got the A.
Yes, yeah. That's what that video that showed in the video. Yeah.
Okay. Either way, it's an ARM CPU, and for people who don't know much about ARM, like most of us, I don't know a great deal, but I do know that it's basically, it doesn't have to worry about all the legacy of the x86 platform. So all our Intel and AMD chips that we use in PCs and in the Xbox and in the PlayStation 5, they have been an evolution that's been going on for years and years and years, and basically they've had to support all the old instructions and old CPU commands to ensure they were backward compatible, all the way back to the x86 CPU. And as a result of that, what that means is that even though they clock really high speeds, we get up to about 5 gigahertz in CPUs, to do a simple instruction may take 10 or 12 clock cycles. Whereas with an ARM processor, they've cut out all that rubbish. They're really streamlined, and they only have the instructions that are necessary or going to be used a lot of the time. So they're a lot more efficient. So even if they're not running it at higher clock speed, they're still able to do just as much work.
Yeah.
Now, this Apple chip, I read a little bit about it. The Apple M1 chip is on a 5 nanometer die. So AMD is currently on 7 nanometer. I don't think Intel has even reached that yet. So the new PS5 and Xbox are both on 7 nanometer dies as well. The smaller the die, the smaller the manufacturing process, the more transistors you can fit onto a die, and the more energy efficiency you tend to get as well. But basically, this CPU, which uses bugger all power, I think in that AnandTech article, it was drawing 7.5 watts for the CPU component, another 7.5 for the GPU part, and 1.5 for the DRAM. So 16.5 watts, and it was performing insanely well. On page 3 of that article, they do a little bit of a gaming performance metric, right? Now, it is with Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's 4 years old, that game. The reason they did it with that game is because there is a Mac version of it. And this chip runs that at about 40 frames a second. It's right at the bottom of that page on that diagram there. It runs at about 40 FPS DAS at 1080p on ultra settings. Now, that is an M1 chip with no dedicated graphics card. That's integrated graphics running at 40 FPS, right? Now, to give an equivalent, the latest Intel CPUs with a 1650 graphics card, a mobile graphics card, not very powerful, still beat that, okay? So it is not clobbering the competition in terms of gaming performance, but this is their first iteration of the chip. Apple's a $1 trillion company. They spend a shitload on marketing and research. Their next, the M2 is due out probably late next year. It'll likely be probably double or 50% the performance increase on this. And we're talking a chip that is 16 watts compared to what does an Intel CPU run? 125 watts or an AMD? Like, there's no comparison there in terms of the power output. So what it's basically saying is ARM is the future. And with the biggest company in the world basically manufacturing their own chips, we're going to see that processing power scale and go up a lot faster than what we've seen with Intel and AMD over the last, 20, 30 years, right? We've seen that sort of, performance doubles every whatever it is years. That's going to go even quicker with ARM.
Will manufacturing costs be cheaper?
Well, they probably will, but what will it mean in the future? If these processors become so fast that they make a joke of Intel and AMD, then will more people move to the Apple platform? Will Apple start selling their M1s to other manufacturers? They might do that. And then what happens to PC gaming? Because this is a different instruction set. It doesn't natively support, Windows or the x86 instruction set. What they have on this laptop is a thing called Rosetta 2, which basically translates those instructions into instructions that the M1 chip can understand. And even doing that translation, it is still bloody fast.
Yeah.
So when they start building things natively for it, and they have some of the graphic benchmarks, it just blows the competition out of the water. We're going to see even better performance. Who knows?
Well, like I said when I showed you the video, I go, I'm not one to blow smoke up Apple's ass whatsoever. But to me, this is a big deal. This is like, they released their first Mac, which was kick ass. Then they had their iPhone you know what I mean? This is like their next step now, I think. Yeah. That is just going to change. It'll change the world. And man, look, if the next, if I could afford it and they release a really good laptop, you know what? I mean, I won't get rid of my PC, but I'll be very tempted to buy like a small mini Mac laptop or something that could if that can do everything. I mean, I can do podcasts elsewhere I don't have to do it just at home. You know, I can go in the kitchen if someone needs my room here, and everything will run smoothly. You know what I mean? So it's
we might
it's a big deal.
see the next gen consoles, the PS6,
Who
run
knows?
on ARM instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that could have a big impact on PC gaming
Mhm.
because, you know, I think that's why PC gaming has done so well is because all the architecture is aligned now with the consoles. So it's really easy to have games across everything. That
Yeah.
could really change in the future.
Yeah.
So
I think it will. I think it will.
yeah, watch this space because I
Mm.
think this is huge. And these are laptops. Some of them don't even have a fan. I mean, the Pro does have a fan, but we're
Yeah.
talking, you know, laptops that are
And that
still running at 30 or 40 degrees centigrade.
in the video that Daz
Mm.
sent to us, which we'll try and include it in the show notes as
Yeah.
well. There was one portion of it where he did a comparison of a Windows PC, like a fully decked out Windows PC that he uses for video rendering.
Nah, dude, that was a Mac. That was a Mac.
Oh, was it?
That was a Mac. Yeah.
I thought it was a. Why was it struggling then against the phone?
Yeah, no, because it had an Intel chip in it. It didn't have the.
Oh,
Yeah, it was the previous gen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So he's set this Mac to render this video,
It's a 4K video.
4K video. He starts the video on the Mac.
Yep.
Pulls out his phone, takes the same video, and then starts the rendering on his phone. Now, by this time, the Mac's probably had already a minute head start.
Mm.
Phone renders the video faster than the Mac with no fan in it.
Yeah.
And
running on what, 5 or 6 watts at most,
and,
right?
and it had 26% battery life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
begin with.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that just shows how insanely power efficient these chips are. So I'm excited to see like what copycats do with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
look,
like,
ARM itself.
Samsung will be on this.
Yeah, they're not. ARM itself is not too far behind. Like they're taking a slightly different approach, but this is really it's going to be huge for everything. And I think the part I'm trying to stress the most is it's not like we see with every generation of new Intel CPU where there's 10% increase. Whoop-de-doo, right? This is massive that they have reached this because they don't have a giant kilo cooler sitting on top of this thing
exactly.
and it's sucking 250 watts of power. It's like these are really efficient. So you could imagine if you put 4 of them on a desktop machine, like there's nothing to stop you having more than one,
true.
right?
Yeah.
It's just insane. So
and
battery life and everything of the new Mac was meant to be insane, 17 hours and all sorts of things. But
what we'll be able to do with like you mentioned like the Pi, something equivalent of that, like the what you can do with emulation and like something that I said like that these could be fantastic for streamers because streaming for a 2 PC setup, like to have a second system that does all the encoding for you, it takes off like a lot of the work that you need to do to be able to stream like PC games and things like that. That could become like seriously affordable, because now it costs you $1,500 to set up a second PC to have an AMD Ryzen chip in it, whereas this could potentially do it for you for nothing. And you hook up a capture card to it, and off you go, and then every man and his dog can stream whatever the hell they want. Like that's just it's mind blowing. So,
and once the Chinese get hold of it and hack it and
yeah.
do their bit, because that's the only concern, right? It is Apple. I'm not an Apple hater. I think their products are excellent, but they are very expensive.
Overpriced,
They do have a very large profit margin. So in one sense, I don't want to be tied to another ecosystem. It'd be great that it gets out there and it is widespread. But yeah, we could see a big shift, and it is due because that x86 architecture is archaic to say the least. And so they've got Rosetta 2, which does this emulation, and it's pretty decent. There's another thing called Crosscode that they've got as well. But basically, as time goes on, that translation is going to be quicker and faster. So you'll still be able to play all your old games and software on these CPUs. So, yeah, very interesting. let us move on. Staying with Apple, this is maybe a little win for Epic, but they have said that they will reduce their Apple Store cut or their App Store cut for some developers.
Mm-hmm.
And what this means basically is, I think if you earn under $1 million as a developer, you only need to pay 15% to Apple instead of 30. But if you do go above that threshold, then it jumps back up to 30% for the remainder of the financial year. So you'd want to hope that you stay underneath that $1 million till right at the end of the financial year.
30%'s a lot, man.
It is a lot. Yeah. So yeah, that doesn't really help. Well, it might help some people, but it's a little bit different. There was a comment around Valve and how they do their cut for developers, and it's a little bit different. I think they sort of reward developers who sell more or something like that. But I don't know. Apple could go a long way more to making it more affordable, but basically they don't need to, so they don't care.
No, they don't need to. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have phone games and.
No, that's right. We wouldn't be where we are. That's true.
Where we are.
Marku, Take-Two. What are they doing?
Yeah, this is kind of sad, actually. They're buying Codemasters, who recently have made Dirt 5.
Yep.
A lot of mainly known for their racing games. The Grid series comes to mind. They do the F1 games, I believe. Going way back in the day, Micro Machines and the like. So
did Spectrum games, Commodore 64 games.
They've been around for a long time. But yeah, it looks like they're about to be bought out by Take-Two Interactive. So I'm guessing the next Dirt game will be full of unskippable ads and like.
Did they say why? Was it just tough times, maybe because of COVID, or?
It doesn't really say, actually. It's not finalized yet, but
yep.
Yeah, it doesn't really say in the article, but it looks like it's happening. It's funny that they mentioned, of all the games that they could have mentioned, they mentioned Brian Lara with cricket and Jonah Lomu rugby.
Oh, they actually did mention Dizzy, the Dizzy series for the games Spectrum and Commodore era.
Yeah. Dizzy were great.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, it's kind of sad to see another UK developer snap by a US giant, but it is what it is.
It's madness. 5. It looks good too, actually.
I really want to get it. Yeah, that's
it looks great.
Yeah.
I only saw the comparison they did on the consoles, and they're pretty much on par. But looks really nice.
Again, but PS5 look nicer.
Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah.
See, and that's interesting. Like there was
thing you reckon as well.
Yeah. There's all these weird quirks that are going on. The good one was the Watch Dogs one because, not because of the frame rate, because you couldn't really tell. Because I think they're at 30 FPS for Watch Dogs. I don't think it runs at 60 FPS, but graphically they were very similar between the two consoles, and they could actually determine the actual settings that they were using, like all the settings, because there's the ability to do that on PC, and they could do comparisons. And both of them look very similar. But there are times, like in COD, there's more smoke coming off the gun on the PS5 than there is on the Series X. So I don't know where all these little differences are coming from, but it must be down to the development kit as well.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, it might be something, maybe I'm stupid, I don't know, but I think maybe the Series S is making maybe the X games a little bit like degraded. Maybe because they're
holding them back, you think?
Yeah, maybe somehow. I didn't think it would make a difference, but
I think maybe that they're, because for example, like with the 5, some of the things that were left out of the Series X version seems to kind of tie in to the Series S, but it looks like it's more bugs than anything else.
Okay.
And they've already acknowledged it. Like it's one of the examples in Dirt 5 was like there's more like foliage and stuff in the PS5 version.
Yes, there
in
is.
the environment.
Yeah, but even the lights, the headlights on the cars, that's like
Yeah, yeah.
considerable. That's like ridiculous.
And I think the gravel as well looked better
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
And
I mean, when you're
already-
racing around the track, you don't even
You're not
notice the
racing,
stuff.
Yeah.
No,
But still, there is a difference, right?
yeah, exactly. But they've already acknowledged that, and they said that they're going to fix it. That they're aware of it. So
Mm.
Yeah.
And Microsoft did, we don't have the article here, but Microsoft did say that they are working with the developers to iron out these performance issues. So I'm curious to see if there will be any difference or not. The good news is, though, if you do have a PS5, your system is performing beautifully.
Mm.
The other interesting thing, though, is none of the consoles have been able to do 4K solid at 60 FPS, right? We're still getting that dynamic resolution scaling, which is to be expected, because to do 4K 60 FPS with everything on, you need, a 3080, probably a 3090 to do that. And they're like, $1,500+ cards. So, yeah. So, look, great performance. Moving on. So, the Super Mario Brothers Game & Watch came out not too long ago. They've already hacked it. I think they dumped the EEPROM and everything on the first day, and now they've got Doom running, albeit it doesn't run very well on it. Since then, they've also got Pokemon running on it, Legend of Zelda, and one other game which has eluded me now. So they're getting better at it. Apparently, it is just sort of running a NES ROM. So the actual getting other games to run on it is not going to be hard, but they haven't got all the nice bits of, potentially plugging in a USB-C drive and then putting more games on there. So that isn't worked out yet. I'm sure it will in the very near future. Are you excited? Will you use it more, Daz, if it actually can play other games?
I didn't keep mine.
Oh, you got rid of yours?
No, yeah, I gave my pre-order to Corley because he let me get the Xbox.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's got one that he plays, and he's got one that's sealed on the shelf, as he wanted. So I thought, in the end, what am I going to do with it? Really?
It's true. Like I've played it a few times, and Super Mario: The Lost Levels is really hard, by the way.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's stupid.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Stupid hard. But my son was playing it today, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "No, I prefer to play it on the NES." So I just fired up the NES Mini, and he played on that instead.
Yeah. Look, yeah, it's a nice little bit of kit, but he did me a favor, so it's only fair.
Yeah,
it's only fair.
The one drawback this has is it doesn't have a lot of storage on board. It has extremely little storage, so you're not going to be able to put games, flash them onto the device. You're going to have a USB-C drive sticking out the side of it in order to have more games, because it only has 128K of storage.
Oh wow, that's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the smaller NES games are 25K, so you might be able to fit 3 or 4 on there, but that's going to be about it. Moving on, this was just blows my mind, because if EA is able to pay Beckham £40 million to have him in FIFA 21 and 22, 23, so it's £40 million over the next 3 years that he's going to get for being in the game. How much money are they making from FIFA? I do not know.
They must be killing it.
Jesus. And he doesn't have to do anything. It's just because they're using him in the game. How good is that? He's retired, hasn't played soccer for yonks or football for yonks.
Yeah.
And he gets £40 million. Apparently they wanted to pay him 30 million and he negotiated up to 40 million.
Yeah. It's insane.
Bloody hell. Yeah. So God knows how much EA make from FIFA. No idea.
Well, EA's turned around and saying no, it's actually it's not accurate.
Oh, it's not accurate.
Yeah. So
is that an update to the article, or was that a tweet? Or
EA Sports has provided a PC gamer with this statement. We've seen the reports of the terms of our deal to bring David Beckham back into our EA Sports FIFA game. We don't disclose specific details, but we can be definitive that the figures being reported are being completely sensationalized, are in no way accurate.
There you go. All right. Well, Hopefully it's a lot. Maybe it's 4 million, not 40 million.
Maybe.
And to round out our regular news, what is this about Pitfall, Marku? Can you explain?
Um, Apparently there are a bunch of old Activision games hidden away in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
This isn't new, by the way. They've done this on older CODs as well. Yeah.
Have they?
So-
I've never seen
I'm
one.
not a player, so
Yeah, me
I don't
neither.
know.
But yeah.
So are these like tucked away in like a map somewhere? I
Yeah, they're like
assume then?
Easter eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in is it in a single player campaign or is it in multiplayer? Where are they
I don't.
hidden?
I'm assuming it's single
Okay.
player, I think.
I'm just trying to see if it mentions, but I don't think it does. Look, you would think that they would imagine that. Imagine playing multiplayer.
You get distracted.
Fishing derby, mate.
Yeah, you're doing everything. You're sitting there playing Pitfall and Fishing Derby.
Derby, sorry, Derby.
Derby, yes.
It mentions the campaign here. So,
Okay. So Pitfall, was there any other ones that are in this one?
few. It doesn't. So far, Enduro. I love Enduro.
Yeah.
Pitfall, Barnstorming, River Raid. Hell yeah!
Wow.
That's his favorite. Fishing Derby. Oh, Derby. Sorry.
It's there too. It is there. That's hilarious.
Supposedly there's some more.
So, yeah, it's actually pronounced Derby there. DER. There you go. Kingy.
I reckon that is so cool.
It
This
is.
is actually 10 games to find, and 8 or 9 of them were in the arcade.
I might have to buy COD just for these mini games.
Doesn't say what they are though, but apparently it is at least 10 games in there so far.
There you
But
go.
Nice.
So
little
if you want to play the latest tech on the latest console and then hunt for a game that is now, 40 years old, you can do it in Call of Duty. Alrighty, let's move on to some...
still recognize their roots at least.
Yes, no, it is nice that they do that. Let's move on to some retro news. Daz, you don't have an intro for retro news, do you?
No, I don't know.
Do you want to talk about the Pocket Go? What is this device?
I know people know about the 8-bit controllers, which I have one here.
They are very good.
Those ones.
Although that one isn't that good, is it?
No,
Daz?
it's like it cuts out.
Mm.
Yeah. But
The Mega Drive one here is quite nice. I like that one.
yeah, Mega Drive one's a lot better. But yeah, they've made a little handheld version of their controls. I think it's really nice. Screen looks good. So I don't really know. Does it say the price? How much it is there?
No, I don't think they've released yet.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna get one. I've already got my my actual handhelds. But from what the specs are showing, it's not that powerful. So you won't be.
So it's really going to be 16-bit era.
Yeah, look. Yeah, like it says, most likely not N64. I highly doubt that. I don't reckon it'll even do Dreamcast.
Nah.
No, PSP, I doubt it. I highly does PSP. PS1, I reckon, would be your limit. For some reason, PS1 games run really well on those older handhelds. Like I've got one, and yeah, well there you go. It says it there. But yeah, look, I mean, it's interesting. I think it's going to be well made. It's not going to feel cheap because the controllers don't feel cheap. So I actually like the screen size in there. I think it'd be really comfortable to play.
Can it be used as a controller just on its own for other systems?
Who knows? I doubt it.
Yeah. I reckon it's cool. I'd buy one if the price is right.
Sorry?
So, there you go. I would buy one if the price is right.
Yeah, well, it all depends on the power too, dude. It's sometimes it's just not worth it, I think. There's one that they mentioned in there's the I think it's the Arcade 2020. If you scroll down, maybe go back up. Where are we? Oh, I saw it there somewhere.
So this is a totally different.
Arcade 2020 is more powerful, which is actually a really good console. and it's cheap.
Okay.
And that plays N64 brilliantly.
Mm.
And it runs an emulation station.
Do you know roughly how much that one is, Des?
There you go, 8. So, yeah, so you're probably looking about 130, 140. Probably a bit
peanuts.
cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good handheld.
There you go.
Yep.
Cool. We'll move on. I mentioned earlier the CPC Retro Dev, which is an Amstrad annual competition held in Spain, and they did have the winners. I mentioned the abduction of Oscar Z, and the promotion, which is the fourth game there, came fourth. The only other one I quickly wanted to mention was Sorcerers, which came second. That's a cool little game. Basically, you are getting chased by enemies around a screen, similar to sort of something like Bomberman. And what you've got to do is collect potions in the right sequence to open the door, and then you progress to the next screen. But to get the potions, you need to pick up coins. You've got to have the right number of coins. And there's a well you can drop coins in if you've got too many. It's kind of cool. Works really, really well. I did try a few other ones. The racing one, Fire Tire, wasn't that great to me. It was okay. And just going on that list, they were probably the ones that sort of stood out to me. But if you are an Amstrad fan, you should check this out, not only just to support all the devs and the students, because they do this in conjunction with the university there that contribute. You can download, there's a zip that downloads all the games, and then you can give them a go on your emulator or your Amstrad device. Now, the next thing
I'm sure Mark's downloaded them already.
He has.
Yeah.
He's actually playing it secretly. While
I'm not even listening to you guys.
he's thrown his Xbox in the bin, and he's put his Amstrad up there ready to play.
Oh, okay. All right, my turn.
Daz, go for it. What's this all about?
Well, I think it's Spanish. Some Spanish guy has figured out a way to convert Thomas Wave games onto the Dreamcast. Thomas Wave is an arcade system that came out about, I think it's a year or 2 years after the Dreamcast came out. So it runs on the same hardware, but in a cartridge format.
Cool.
And they've converted to the Dreamcast format, which is absolutely amazing. I actually got it done yesterday. I chucked them on my SD card, and they run flawlessly. It's really good. I played Fist of the North Star, and this is awesome.
Wow.
Demon Blue supposedly bugs out and glitches on stage 3, but they're fixing that at the moment. But you can get games like Metal Slug 6, Samurai Showdown, Samurai Spirits. Sorry, there's just heaps to play. Rumblefish 1 and 2. I mean, these were only released on the PS2 back in the day, so not while Demon Blue wasn't. You know, I mean, there's Demon Blue. Yeah. What's that? Dolphin Blue. Demon Blue. I was getting confused with there's a what's it called? I think it's right there, but Mark's going up. Devilish Fish or something. It's called like that. It's not there though. Not Knights of Valor, King of Fighters 11, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. That was on the PS2. Faster Than Speed. That's pretty much useless because that's more of a 2-player game. It's an arcade link up, and you can't link up with this, so I don't know why they bothered. But yeah, it's
that's
great.
Amazing.
Yeah, if you got a GDMU, it's worth doing. Because the formats that they're in, most of them are in GDI, so you can't burn them on discs. So you have to run through emulator or via SD
or on
card.
a SD. Yeah.
I haven't gotten one to work on an emulator yet.
Oh really? Oh okay.
Yeah. It will start the game. It'll start to boot up and then they'll crash. But I'll give them another go because I really want to play this Knights of Valor.
Okay.
And Dolphin Blue. So this looks like a great beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, just
and resolution's all good and everything does.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Wow.
I can't remember what game there was, but there's even a widescreen patch for some of them.
That's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you got your Dreamcast hooked up via HDMI and on a nice big screen, you can do that too.
Bonza.
Yeah.
Cool,
yeah,
man.
but Mark, just play the Thomas Wave versions. Sorry, on emulator.
Yeah, I know. I've never set one up for that.
Yeah.
But
It's fiddly, I only got it working
Yeah.
on my Pi. Funny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to give it a go because these games are great.
Mm.
Cool.
Cool.
And to round out the retro news and our news for today, a sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. Has gone for a record price. What was that record price? Who wants to tell us?
I know.
It went for
Mr. Marku.
$156,000 US.
Is that all? I should have bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, it's a variant sealed Super Mario Bros. 3 variant breaks world record.
So it's a. Do we know what the variant is?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's
So
still
Heritage
insane.
Auction House were the ones that took care of this. They did the what was it? The PSX, the Nintendo.
yeah.
They sold that as well.
Why would you pay so much? Yeah.
I'm not. I really don't know what's the difference between that version there and the normal version.
It's more money than sense, mate.
It is.
As they say.
You get an entire gaming collection of all the different consoles
I
and
know.
every game,
And have
probably for that
changed.
price, and have changed.
Yeah.
Far out.
Or just buy a Raspberry Pi. That's everyone
Yes.
says.
Why don't you just buy a Raspberry Pi? It does everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't get it. But
Nuts.
each to their own. Whatever makes you happy.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Shout outs. Daz, do you want to... Actually, we'll start with Mark. Mark,
Okay.
any shout outs that you have?
So look, same as always. Shout outs to everyone that tunes in to every episode, that tunes in via YouTube or Spotify, Podbean, etc. We say it all the time, but we really do appreciate it. So thank you very much for listening, especially this year as well. We super appreciate it. Shout outs to everyone that's joined us as a guest. Boosty last episode which was really great. It was a really fun episode to do.
Mhm.
So yeah, thanks to everyone that's listened this year.
Beautiful. And Mr. Daz, would you like to fill us in on your affiliate podcasts?
Yep. We've got Drop That Stylus. That's pretty much on hiatus at the moment because busy lives. It's just too hard. I mean, Corley keep clashing on, what's going on, this and that. So, look, we might be doing one next month. If not, it'll be after the new year because silly season, as they say. But we just released an Outrun episode on Arcade Perfect, which is just
Cool.
killing it. So
Imagine.
Oh, it's very popular, very, very popular, and there was a lot of work involved. So that's doing really well, and so yeah, hi to Tagstar there. So and thanks to our patrons on that podcast as well. You guys are awesome. And a quick thing here that David figured out before we jumped on is that sorry whoever downloaded our last episode on Podbean because I uploaded the wrong file. I actually uploaded the actual stream. I didn't actually upload the edited version. So we got that stupid 5 minutes intro at the end. I don't even have an outro song or anything. So I wasted nearly an hour editing and I didn't save it. That's because it's not on my hard drive. So now I'm gonna have to do it again. So if you end up whoever downloads it in the future is gonna get a nice clean episode. So
There you go.
But we'll be doing that after I edit this one. So
Don't worry, listeners, we've docked his pay.
yeah. Funny enough, it was still got a lot of hits, so that was good.
Yes, it did.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I guess people like that music for 5 minutes, just sitting there.
Dun, dun, dun.
What an idiot! Oh, it's like, David tells me what you should edit the music. I'm like, what's he talking about? I do it all the time. I checked it. Oh shit!
When I saw the message, I thought he meant maybe like on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Aaron,
It's like, I know.
too preoccupied with fishing derby.
I know, mate. I know.
Dave, how about you?
No, look, I do want to say and reiterate what Mark Who said. Thank you to everyone who listens in. It's really exciting this right now, and I think next year is going to be more exciting when COVID hopefully becomes something we don't need to talk about, and we can get more stuck into games, because we have hurt badly this year. There hasn't been as many releases as there could have been. And to be frank, if we didn't have the new consoles, there wouldn't have been a lot to talk about at this time of the year.
No.
So I'm looking forward to a fresh year and a lot of optimism. We're heading into summer here, which is great for us. I really feel for the people overseas who are suffering at the moment. I hope you get through. Try to take as much of a mental break as you can, and stay in touch with friends and family through a really tough time. We went into lockdown for probably over 100 days here straight in Melbourne, and it wasn't easy. It was extremely restrictive. We did make it through in the end, and extremely grateful. And hopefully we won't have to go back.
It paid off.
It did pay off for us. We were very fortunate.
Lockdowns work. Okay,
they
people.
do.
They work.
They do work. Yeah, we have 29 days now with no cases, and we have no active cases in the whole state, which is amazing. We were at 700 plus a day, so
it's not fun,
insane.
but it keeps you safe and it keeps your family safe as well. So.
Yeah, we've got to worry about the elderly, but not just the elderly. The people who have existing heart conditions are particularly vulnerable. Those who suffer from a disability are also extremely vulnerable as well. So those who are maybe quadriplegic or have lung conditions, etc. So it's more to keep them safe than the healthier younger people.
Yeah.
All right. On that somber note, we will hopefully have another show before Christmas, I hope. And
yeah, we'll do one. I reckon.
Yeah, Cyberpunk should be coming out.
Hey, Dave. I think we'll wait until Cyberpunk comes out, and then you can regale us with your tales.
You already bought it, didn't you?
No, I haven't bought it yet, to be honest.
I thought you bought it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it'll be good. We'll have one more episode, I think, before Christmas.
That one's falling on your shoulders, because Daz and I will be like,
no, thank you. It looks good, but I don't have the patience. I don't. I wish I had the patience for something like that.
I just wish they put in the third person view, but
is it first person? Is it?
Is it just first person? I can't. I've tried not to follow too much because I don't want to get spoilt with playthroughs and stuff. I do know that one of the devs spent 175 hours in the game and hasn't finished it, but he probably did a lot of the side quests. So.
Yeah.
So you'll buy this at launch. You're going to buy it at launch.
I don't know yet. I probably will, but
at least you're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah, because I kind of want to get it. I want to get it once I get the Xbox, because I want to play it on the Xbox. So it depends when I get the Xbox. I'm still waiting, obviously.
So you won't get the PC version.
Nah, probably not, because my machine's not fast enough to run it. At this point.
Really? Is it that demanding?
Well, on 4K it is.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you in a few weeks. Take care.
Adios. Bye.
Bye.